Wonderful. So we have Europe represented here, and gosh, that's wonderful. And I think various parts of the States. So today, what I was thinking of is I'm getting started here is the word regard. When we're using our attention, we are regarding. And I was playing with the word regard and what it communicates. And what I'm thinking of, one of the benefits of using particularly our loop of awareness is that we get to give our regards to others. So when someone says, "Oh, give so and so my regards," there's something about that that's always felt very sweet to me. When I'm regarding somebody, it's very different than paying attention. So let yourself just experiment with paying attention to the people on the call. You're like, and when I do that, I get more narrow and I get more forward. But when I'm regarding, I feel my gaze softening. And I also am being with my attention. So my sense is too that with attention, we're often in front of it or behind it, but not really right with it. But when I'm regarding, my focus moves. I'm moving with my focus, and my focus comes out in a softer way that I experience as welcoming. So I would love for you to give that regard to others and then to give that regard to you. And the way I was thinking about doing that is letting your attention go around. So we've had some people share where they are and they're in big open spaces. And when I'm in a big open space, my attention tends to get softer and wider. So I'd love for you to let yourself first, with somebody on the call, let yourself look around them and then back and look around yourself. It's sort of like a little figure eight that you're letting your attention look around. And then when you come back to you, almost always when somebody is giving attention to themselves, they give a kind of a what's wrong now and what can I do to fix it or get rid of it or rise above it. But what if you were regarding, just regarding, you are like, oh, here you are, and here's what's going on in you. So you're sensing into yourself, and then you're sensing out and around, and then back to you. And then just pause for a moment and notice how that affects you. So the difference between giving attention to yourself and paying attention and regarding, and just notice which gives you more of a sense of aliveness and flow. Yeah, and I notice also when I'm regarding and when I see you regarding, you using your loop of awareness that way, I see you moving more. And it looks as if you're softening yourself. You're softening your face, the angles. And notice if there's anything that your body wants to do. So I always find when I'm paying attention in that way, I get narrowed and I'm not really using myself. I breathe less and I move less. But when I'm looping my attention, and especially if I'm letting myself go around, I'm really opening the space, not only for the person, but for the interaction between us. And I'd like you to just notice if, as you're regarding, and then you're regarding in you, whether you're experiencing more of a connection. So let yourself just do that for a minute or so, where you're letting your attention go out and around, and then you're letting it go in and around. I also find that it allows me to find my rhythm. I think a lot of what's going on right now is that there's so much jangle going on in the collective that it's very hard to find, where am I? Oh, here I am. Oh, here you are. And then I can connect. So I find that when I find my rhythm, for the day or the rhythm for the moment, I experience more presence. And then from that presence, I can connect, and then I can begin to play, and I can see you all beginning to play. You see something going on for somebody else, and that inspires a little wiggle in you. And then, like the light that's coming on your face, Jennifer opened up this whole ah sense of for me. So we get to share across space, which I think is just amazing. One of the things I'm really interested in is how we can connect deeply virtually, because that's so much of what's going on right now. And rather than saying we should go back to in person, well, that's just not going to happen. And so I've really been noticing that, like in our gatherings here, I feel nourished by them. I experience being nurtured. So my breath deepens and softens, and I feel softer in my body, and I feel a kind of upwelling of energy that I can use. And so I'd like you to check, like, what is it that you can do and share that you're experiencing a connection, even though we're virtual with each other. And ask your body that too. Is there anything else that I could be doing anyway? I could be breathing, moving, that would allow me to experience more connection. And then just notice because your body will respond. And you may get that, it may be a voice you hear or an image, but it may just be an opening to, oh, I feel connected. Yeah, beautiful. And I'd like to move to our card, and I'd love for you to bring that up for us so we can see it. And I'd like you to do the same thing with the card. I'd like you to regard what happens to your attention when you let yourself regard the card, and then bringing that softened attention back to you, and notice what opens in you as you're taking in the colors and the shapes that are on the card. And while you're doing that, letting yourself look at the card and then notice what happens in you, this is the yes card. I know what yes feels like in my body. Such an important skill. I know what yes feels like in my body. And the question is, how can I easily notice a yes response from my body intelligence? And we have lots of material about how to find your yes and your no. This card is about your yes. But one of the things I'd like you to tune into is a recent experience where you have felt at home, you have felt welcomed, you have felt open, in that sense of feeling safe and being open to curiosity. And I'd like you to tune into what happens in your body when you're in that space. Some of you were sharing that you were on the beach, you were walking around in a place that gave you that feeling of expansion. So playing with what yes feels like in your body is a wonderful way to support your decisions, what agreements you enter into, what ones you say, no, that's not for me, and trusting, opening up to and trusting more of your body intelligence rather than doing it all from your cognitive skills, because your body has all of this wisdom from really generations of people who have responded to the environment with, yes, I want to go there. No, I don't want to make that turn. And those have often been even life-saving choices. So when I look at this card and I tune into me, what I notice is an expansion, that my body has an opening, and I experience a sense of uprising energy in the front of my body, and especially in my chest. It's a kind of like a benign fountain that opens up. So I'd like you to notice, where in your body expands, and there even may be a reliable place in you that expands. So for me, it's really up at the high part of my chest. I feel an expansion that opens up, excuse me, and you can build on that because very often you'll have that initial yes or the initial no, and then most of us will go up into our heads and then try to figure it out. But if you let that opening and expansion be a signal to you that this is a yes, you can then build on that. And I found that everything from, choosing vegetables or fruits at the at the store to deciding whether I want to accept an invitation, those your body can be of such help to you and such support in really aligning with what matches for you. And so building on that skill, I find has incredible value. So let's come on back to the big group. And if you've noticed something about your yes, I'd like you to just make a little note of it, because sometimes these body sensations come through very quickly and you might dismiss it or go, oh yeah, I had that today, but not something that's reliable that you can count on. But when you have a yes to something, then often you'll see that that aligns with something else, and it builds on that, moving into life from a sense of fully participating. The other thing about our regarding that I wanted to mention to you is that I think it's one of the quickest ways of us creating community wherever we are. When I give my attention to people and I'm regarding and including them, I am creating community wherever I am. And I'm inviting people to share the space with me. And that space of connection is so valuable to us, particularly in this time of still lots of chaos and lots of unexpecteds going on. So like this last weekend, when I was going out into the world, I had three people, just going from here to downtown. I had three people run stop signs. I had a bike run out in front of me. So I'm going, okay, I need to be in charge of my own safety. So creating safety from expansion rather than from contraction. So when we go into fear and othering, we lose our connection, but we also lose our safety. So as you're regarding and you are in tune with your yes, you literally are creating safety for you and for others. And the loop of awareness, one of the main benefits is that you create safety for yourself. So here I am, I can see what's going on around me. And particularly as you let your regarding move through and around you so that it's not always just out in front, because your sides and the back of you have information that they can give to you through your body wisdom. So so for Present Connect Play today, for those of you who may be new, I'm including all different kinds of skills and tools in here so that there's lots for you to play with during the week. So for presence today is getting curious with which is one of my favorite presencing moves. So the is a lovely way of including regarding for you and shifting to curiosity. There's a lot of research about the value of curiosity. And when you create a with your attention to yourself and to others, that moves you into that expansive space where you can then be with yourself and then also be able to be with whatever is happening in the moment. I'm loving all of our critters. We've got cats and dogs, and I'm finding also my cat is in her. She is really loving to be. I think our animals know, like, ooh, there's good stuff going on here. I want to be a part of it also. And they, of course, expand that for us. So anytime too, I'm feeling, startled or anxious or just not quite centered, creating the and then getting curious. It actually creates curiosity, but I can add to that by, hmm, I wonder how, I wonder how I can meet this, or, I wonder what next step I can take. So the for me is an all-purpose skill that I use all the time. And when you do that, one of the other things I find is that it opens my throat. And when then I can express what's really going on for me, but I also can receive, because this is your switchboard. Everything goes through your throat. And so if your throat is tightened, it's more difficult for you to notice and experience your whole body awareness. So the is really all purpose. And when you put that together with curiosity, woo, and so that creates a lot of yummy presence. So connect. So this is all supporting. I love how these, because I just picked a card today. And so the connect is receive communication with an open posture. So one of the other things that we think of more of posture as improving ourselves, like just take a moment and stand up straight or sit straight, or get that whole, it's like pay attention. So when you're correcting your posture, notice that it contracts you. But if you're opening your posture, that allows you to expand to giving and receiving more of the information, the flow, the intelligence that comes from your body and also comes from others. Because when you have an open posture, you can connect with the light playing. Like I love the way the light's playing on Marai's face, and the sense of where we are sharing space together and sharing aliveness, and we all get our reservoirs filled by that. So just notice if there's any place in you where your posture, as we're calling it, your body could be even more open. Are there any little tucked places that you could give your curious attention to, your to, and then just notice how that allows you to connect more with others. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And then, play is turning words into sound. This one is incredibly valuable, especially with somebody you're close to, a partner or a colleague, where you've gotten into a hassle and you're using your words to trigger each other. If you let that turn into sound, so I want to invite you, because you got yourself muted, so you can play with it as much as you want to. So some critical thing that you've had about yourself, or some way that you're like, I'm looking at it, I go, God, what happened to your hair today? So that would be my so how can you turn that into sound, like and when I did that, I just got got little goosebumps, and I got a little frisson of fountain energy coming through. So turning words into sound really liberates that narrowing that we often do. And so for me, it really turns it into play. And if you're working with couples, especially that have a recurring argument, have them drop the words out and just make sounds. And it's incredibly powerful to turn an argument into play where something can be learned. So that's our play for today. And really appreciate you sharing this space and all of with your environments that you're bringing. So let's just take another round of regarding internally. And I love also curves. See, there are really no straight lines in nature. And if you let your attention move in curls and swirls and the organic shapes of you, notice how that just amplifies your aliveness. Lovely, lovely. All right. Well, thank you so much for showing up and sharing space. And I'm going to take my leave now and invite you to stay and share and osmose. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah. Take care.